Ken Wyatt joining us there. Now, the next speaker is delivering an opening address from the other side of the Tasman on behalf of New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. We'll be bringing you Nania Mahuta in just a moment, but before she gives her address, let me introduce her. She's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Local Government, and the Associate Minister for Maori Development, and a long-time Trans-Tasman contemporary and friend of Minister Wyatt. They both signed just 12 months ago the Australia-New Zealand Indigenous Collaboration Agreement at a joint leaders meeting in Sydney. Let's take a listen now to Nania Mahuta.
Ko rangi nui e tui honei ko papatua nuku e takoto nei. Ki ngā iwi take o te whenua moia, kei ngā iti, kei ngā rahi, kei ngā rangatira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. It's my pleasure to address this virtual conference, Proud Partnerships in Place, and to briefly reflect on what it means to be an Indigenous parliamentary representative from Aotearoa-New Zealand. Last week we celebrated the 181st anniversary of the signing of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi, our founding partnership between Māori and the British Crown. Our bicultural journey has navigated rocky times, but today we know outcomes will be stronger and more enduring if they are built through dialogue, shared understanding, and taking account of a range of diverse perspectives. The strengths and achievements of Aotearoa-New Zealand have been born out of the richness of diversity represented in that partnership. And the principles of partnership provide the foundation for how New Zealand conducts itself on the international stage today, a focus which I'm acutely mindful of as Foreign Minister. The importance of proud partnerships right now. Global issues relating to Indigenous peoples are as pressing as ever. The approach that states and economies take to include Indigenous perspectives will forge a more inclusive, socially and economically cohesive, respectful way forward. The health and economic impacts of COVID-19 are being and will be felt more amongst Indigenous peoples, alongside women, children, elderly and the most vulnerable. Climate change stands to significantly alter the way of life of many globally, especially in the communities of the Pacific. These are just some of the challenges governance faces, and a diversity of thought born from a cultural perspective will better equip us to confront these issues. We must be willing to engage in different conversations to innovate a different outcome. By including Indigenous voice, we're able to advance this approach. Where to from here for governments, and how can they do better to form proud partnership, utilising Indigenous knowledge? Well, in the New Zealand context, I believe we have a prime opportunity to call on the bicultural values that have characterised who we are to carry the momentum of who we become. That's what the treaty is all about. Values such as manaakitanga, kindness, or the reciprocity of goodwill. Whanaungatanga, our connectedness or shared sense of humanity. Mahitahi and kotahitanga, collective benefits and shared aspirations. And kaitiakitanga, protectors and stewards of our intergenerational well-being. Each of these values, when expressed in a relationship, gives a sense that everything is connected and purposeful. What the world needs now is a commitment towards empathy, sustainability, and intergenerational solutions for well-being. Nō reira kei aku rangatira, tēnā koutou katoa.